Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here today, I guess just welcome in general. My name is Kate and this is my channel, So I've Been Thinking. For those of you who have already seen my first video and decided to subscribe, thank you. Here's the second one. So I'm actually planning on having two different sets of videos, or I guess types of videos is a better word for it. In my main videos, it's going to be more based on things that I notice in society that I think I would like a chance to have my say on. This second kind of video, which is what today's video is going to be part of my series, Thoughts of a Massage Therapist. That is actually what I do for a living. I've been licensed in my state now for 4 years, almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years next year. And like in any field, there are things that you notice when you've been in it for a while. There are things that you absolutely love. There are things that drive you kind of bonkers. I'm absolutely in love with what I do for a living. I'm gonna kind of let you guys know, you have to be in love with it to decide to touch naked bodies all day. So my hope for these kinds of videos is sometimes I'm hoping they'll be funny, they'll be informative. Above all, I just kind of want to give a perspective on a type of career that really doesn't get talked about, and that there is a lot of weird stigma around still. Some people still seem to think it's only something that you do if you're rich and you want to go to a spa. That's not the case. It's become something that's definitely more of the medical field at this point. That's actually the kind of work that I do. I'm a therapeutic massage therapist and I work side by side with chiropractors. So that being said, today's video, number one, is all about pain. I figure this is the best place to start to kind of help people understand, because you would be amazed at the number of clients I get on my table, and any massage therapist will tell you if you ask them. People don't know that you're not supposed to be in pain. Those of you watching, if you're thinking, oh, well, I thought that was normal. Unfortunately, you are part of the populace that does believe that, which is actually pretty much everyone. So don't feel bad if you've been thinking that this whole time. Pain in the body is meant to be a warning system. It's not something you're supposed to feel all the time. That's why people who have chronic pain, you hear them talk about how their pain tolerance gets so high. That's not kind of a way to sound badass, like to be like, oh yeah, I have such a high pain tolerance, I can handle anything. Most of the time it's actually really hard for people with high pain tolerance, because their signal basically has been going for so long that they kind of don't know how to read it until it's at like absolutely horrific levels. Sometimes they use that to their advantage. Like I know a lot of people who talk about they have high pain tolerance and they get like, tattoos everywhere and they can go in for session after session, and that's good for you, learning how to use that to your advantage. I have 2 tattoos myself and I will tell you I am a complete baby when it comes to pain, so like hats off to you guys. But in the main day-to-day part of life, everyone assumes that being in pain of some kind is really normal. People will say, oh, I'm just falling apart, I'm getting old. I have people on my table who are not even 40 years old and already think that it's normal to be hurting every day. It's not. I'm actually 24 and I suffer from chronic pain as well. That's because when I was 12 years old, I actually broke both my wrists at the same time. Rollerblading with no wrist guards on. Don't do that. So because of that, and because I have a field that I'm using my hands literally every single day, the entire day, there's some pain that goes along with that. However, I know that it's not normal. It's a side effect of what happened when I was a kid. People who, you don't even have to have had like a really serious injury to experience pain. A lot of people will end up with huge amounts of pain from just stress. So you guys know how whenever you're really, really stressed and you're so tense, you just feel angry all the time. Like you're so irritated because you notice the tension and you're just like, oh my God, I will stab someone if one more person talks to me. Don't touch me kind of feeling. That's another kind of pain. And the problem with that is that we live in a society that is a freaking rat race. Like we are trying to go, go, go all the time. And what is very interesting about this, and this is something that, to be honest, I had heard talked about, but before I became a massage therapist, I didn't really put it together how it works in our daily lives. So everyone knows about our fight or flight system, the whole you either get the hell out of there, or you stand and fight. And people will always use that kind of as a way to describe like when someone scares them or when they feel the need to stand their ground against something. Well, the problem is that stress induces the fight or flight system. It's actually called the sympathetic nervous system. It's why people who are super stressed have issues with high blood pressure, why they never seem to have an appetite, why they usually will end up kind of constipated, why they can't sleep. It's because what's happening is that their bodies are producing so much cortisol, which is the hormone that produces stress, and so much adrenaline every day because they literally think they're getting attacked every single day. This is a very primal, like deeply instinctual system that hasn't really gotten the memo that we're in modern times and we're not about to be attacked by predators. The problem is that the predators have become our day-to-day lives. All of the deadlines, all of the timetables, all the huge projects, all of the people who will sit there and work 80-hour work weeks, that is now the new predator, and your body is always trying to make up for that. So the reason why this sucks is that your body is supposed to, like, it's important that you have your sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight, working correctly, because that's kind of like the whole self-preservation thing. Like, no, don't let yourself get killed by a predator. No, get out of there, run. But people don't understand that you are supposed to have your rest and digest side of that working, which is called your parasympathetic nervous system. Rest and digest is exactly what it sounds like. It is when you are able to sleep. It's when everything starts being digested in your body. It's why you get hungry. It is why you will have to go to the bathroom. That's why a lot of people, whenever they get a massage, they're so surprised. They all of a sudden, like, they'll end up falling asleep, which of course is like their body is like, okay, finally we can stop running. You'll always get, like, there's some people who will get really hungry on the table because they're like, oh my God, like, I don't even know why I'm so hungry right now. It's like, well, everything's getting stimulated correctly for the first time, probably in weeks. People will usually have to use the bathroom right afterwards. Like, people make a beeline for the toilet as soon as they get off of the table. And overall, like, that's why people will come and get massages to relax, because they're literally trying to reset their system. Now, the thing is, though, is that, and I'm very biased with this, I will just say that right away. There are benefits to doing just relaxation massage. But in my personal opinion, therapeutic massage is way more effective, because relaxation massage is literally you come in, you get relaxed to where you fall asleep, and then you leave. And most people, instantly, the second they're off the table, are right back to the same way that they were. It's like they had an hour reset, and now they're right back to the same levels of stress, same levels of taking off. And that's not really working, because their bodies still have all of the stress inside of them still, and still physically attaching and pulling and yanking and making it to where you're going to go home that night and you're still not going to sleep and you're still not going to be hungry and you're still going to feel like, I don't know if you guys really know what I'm talking about with this. I've described this to a few people and they seem to kind of resonate with the sensation. When you're so stressed, this like buzzing in the back of your skull where you like sit there, that's why people, when they're really stressed, they'll like move their neck around. Basically, it's like the muscles in your neck like will tighten up, and people will just sit there and be like, oh my God, if one more thing happens, I'm gonna get my freaking, I can't even like actually think of the words right now because I'm not stressed out, but it's like, that's kind of where you like just get frazzled and done. Well, this is where therapeutic work is better, in my opinion, because it helps to take care of that. But we'll get to that in another video. I'm going to start rambling on that in a moment. The main point of this video, and the part that I really want to drive home for people, where I'm talking about pain is not normal. Imagine that your body is a car. So in a lot of ways, I think of the human body as this beautiful, complex, squishy, ever-changing version of a machine, which is exactly what we are. We're a very complex machine. And massage therapists and doctors and chiropractors and naturopaths and acupuncturists and every other kind of doctor you can think of, both in conventional medicine and in alternative medicine, are all the different kinds of mechanics who have different kinds of blueprints on how to help us stay running. So imagine, if you will, that your body is like a car. We'll use a car because it's the easiest analogy I can think of. And you're driving down the road, and all of a sudden your check engine light turns on. Well, are you guys going to sit there and continue to ignore the check engine light until you're suddenly stranded in the middle of nowhere because something was wrong and you decided to ignore it. Or your gas gauge is like hovering near empty the whole time and you choose to ignore it because you think you can get just a few more miles out of it. And then again, you're trapped in the middle of nowhere with a vehicle you can't do anything with because you didn't pay attention to the signals before you're now stranded. Well, that's what your body's doing when it's telling you that it's hurting. When you feel pain, it is your body's system way of saying, oh my God, there's a problem. You need to fix this. And so this is what happens, is that people will ignore the signals because the human body can take a lot, like to a degree that it's actually astounding sometimes. And the stress levels and the physical, oh my goodness, like athletes are the worst, like they are the worst with this. Like the things I've seen athletes put their bodies through, I'm just like, oh my God, you only get one of these, you know? And so I think because we can push ourselves, you always hear people talking about, I push myself, I just push through it, I just work through it. You're not supposed to. If there is something in your body that is aching, throbbing, hurting, you barely can move it, you lose range of motion, whatever it is, that's not normal. Stop. Stop what you're doing. Try to figure out why you're having this problem and go take care of it. If you notice that you're barely sleeping, ask yourself, how much have I eaten in the last couple of days? How much coffee have I been pouring into my system? Wow, have I even actually been able to go to the bathroom regularly? Wow, I can barely move my neck. Maybe I should go see a chiropractor, or maybe I should probably see a massage therapist. I'm always one for saying massage therapist first and then everyone else after, because your tissue, your muscular system is pretty freaking huge, and you would be amazed at how many of the pain signals you get that are coming just from your muscles, because they scream the loudest. At least they'll be the first ones who will let you know. So pay attention. Don't ignore it. Don't just work through it. I mean, obviously we all have our daily lives, we all have our jobs, and that's kind of where, like, in my field it's really hard, because we want to tell people, oh dear God, stop your desk job. Stop traveling internationally every single week where you're crammed into a tiny little seat on the airplane and you're stressed out because you're trying to make your connection every single week. Oh my goodness, like, go buy yourself a new bed. Like, don't keep sleeping all crunched up like that. Like, life still has to happen, which is why human beings are just absolutely amazingly resilient in how the human body will keep making you move. It'll keep getting you around. It's just going to be broke, excuse my French, broke as fuck by the end of it. You are not supposed to fall apart by the time you're 30 years old. You're not supposed to fall apart by the time you're 60 years old. Age is just a number. I have seen people who are in their 80s who are in better physical condition than people who are my age. Keep that in mind. If you feel pain, it's not you getting older. It's that there's something going on, and most of the time it's really easy to fix. So that is my little rant on this. Please remember, pain's not normal. Pain is your body's way of telling you something is going on. And just take a minute, figure out what it is. And above all, this is probably the most important thing I want all of you to remember. You're not imagining it. You're not a little wussy who can't handle a little bit of pain. Knock that shit right out of your brain right now, because that is completely a societal issue that we have had ingrained into us, that we're not strong if we can't push through it. Yeah, and do we see how broke, like, everyone's bodies are who keep trying to do that? Have we noticed how these people end up dying of heart attacks, how they barely can move at a certain point without taking a lot of medication, or really just seeming unhappy all the time? Keep that in mind. You're not going to win anything long term by just deciding to ignore it. And honestly, that's the other thing I hear a lot, is that I must be imagining it. You're not. You're not imagining it. The people who claim to be hypochondriacs are actually really rare. If you feel something in your body, you're not making it up. You need to listen to your body and honor that you are actually somebody who knows what's going on in your own body before anyone else, because it's your body. We don't feel it. We don't know. You can tell me where something hurts and I can see the signs, but I can't actually physically feel what you're feeling. So don't let people make you believe that you have to ignore it because they're going to think you're making it up. You're not. If you are, well, then that's a whole nother issue. But most of the time, You're not. And it's okay to acknowledge that, to honor that, and to find a way to make yourself feel better. So, that is my rant on this today. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. For any of you this is now the second time you've seen my videos, thank you so much. For any of you who made it through the whole video, just to let you know, my videos always are going to be kind of long. I don't know how to edit, so these are completely raw, uncut footage. So hopefully you'll appreciate that. If not, I'm sorry. I am really working on making them shorter. This is actually already half as long as my first one, so trying really hard. Anyway, if you guys have any questions you want to ask me about the industry, about what's happening to your body, please feel free to drop a question or a comment in the comment section below. If you like what you see, I will be trying to trade off in between the two types of videos every time. So just stay tuned. I am really busy. This, like, my real job does take up a lot of my time, so just know I will post these as soon as I can. And as always, constructive feedback is welcome. If you're just being an asshole because you're bored and you just want to pick on people on YouTube, I'm gonna ignore you. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Have a great night, and I'll see you next time.